Yo, what's up guys, I'm back, gonna review for you. Now, if you're wondering why the team's a little bit weaker than usual, it's because it's my second account, so I thought I might as well try a cheap icon out. I haven't got like the red name or the playing with Messi or anything like that. So we'll go through it then. So he's 6 foot tall, got the medium work rates. He's right foot with the 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot. On his positions this year, he can play striker, centre forward and also left wing, which just allows him a little bit of variation. Now, I decided to play him striker in like a 4-4-2, well it's a 4-3-2-1 kind of thing. Look at my custom tactics video if you want to see it, but it's pretty much a 4-4-2. On stat sensor, he's got 87 pace, 74 shooting, 84 passing, 89 dribbling and 63 physical. Now, there's a reason why I'm doing this card in particular, because he's a very cheap icon for how good he actually is. Purely because he's got the really low shooting, everyone just looks at the card and goes, "Ugh, no." But I imagine a lot of people have probably packed him in their max 86 icon pack, so I thought I might as well do a review for you guys, try him out, see what I think of him. I decided to go with the finished chem style. I'll explain more why on the positive and negative side of things after the clips. If you do enjoy the clips or want to see more, please do subscribe. It genuinely does help the channel out a lot. But I'll see you after. Peace. So, on to my own thoughts about this card then. Now, don't get me wrong, there's obviously flaws about this card since he's so cheap. A lot of people will see them. But there's also a lot of positives about this card, so we'll go through it then. So he's got 4-star skills, 4-star weak, which is actually really nice for a card so cheap, to be fair. Genuinely, there's a lot of cards at a higher price that have got 3-star skills or 3-star weak for stuff like that. So there's a nice aspect about him. The 4-star skills obviously don't really come off too well because of the height and the agility. But don't get me wrong, they're still not bad, and the weak foot genuinely does feel like a 4-star weak foot, nothing more, nothing less. On the pace then for me, it's not slow, don't get me wrong, but he's not a fast card. He's 6 foot tall, so he's not really going to feel the fastest. But he will still be able to burst through on goal and get past those like Tomori's, Joe Gomez, stuff like that. So this is where the issue lies about the card necessarily. Now, it's not necessarily in the finishing itself. The finishing, when you put a finished chem style on him, goes up to like 89, I think it is, which isn't bad. He would miss a few chances, don't get me wrong. His composure did let him down a few times, and he would miss very easy chances. But I feel like the main issue of this card is that shot power. 74 base. Even with the +4, it still goes up to 78, so it's really, really low, to be honest. And this is why a lot of his shots get saved, because they're just so weak, and even if you like powered in their post, the keeper will probably have the reaction time to save it. So that was a little bit of an unfortunate thing about this card, and that's why I feel like letting down more than the actual finishing itself. But don't get me wrong, the finishing was a bit inconsistent at times. The rest of the shooting attributes kind of average. This is probably why the card's quite cheap, because overall the finishing isn't really the best. Now, passing for me, genuinely didn't have any problems with it at all. The 1-2 passing with the short pass division, really decent, to be fair. The curve I didn't really try out too much, because finesses aren't really the best this year. You need to do the Trivella shots instead, which is L2 if you're on PS5 or 4. The long pass for me, genuinely didn't get to use that much as well. He was mainly the main striker that would run for on goal with it, so especially as my opponents weren't really the best, because obviously it's a low division of my normal account. So overall, I didn't really get to try out the long passing too much. Now, as I talked about, he's 6 foot tall, so he's not going to feel the most agile of course, but don't get me wrong, he isn't like unagile at all. He will be able to twist and turn, especially since I've got the 99 agility, 99 dribbling stats, sorry, with the 97 or 98 agility, which is actually really, really nice, to be fair. Just allows him to twist a lot nicer than what he would be on a normal card. The balance is a little bit low, to be honest, don't get me wrong, especially that strength and aggression. He will get pushed off quite easily, but don't get me wrong, the agility will be able to counteract that at times. So as I talked about, the composure is a little bit low, and this is why his finishing will go a little bit inconsistent at times, especially his 74 base with that as well. So hand in hand just don't go well together. The ball control didn't have any issues with, along with the reactions, both of them not bad. Now, this is where the card has another load of issues. So the air ability is useless on this card, especially at 6 foot tall. You want him to have a little bit of jump, and he doesn't really, so he's not really going to be that aerial threat that you want him to be. The stamina, again, is quite low. If you have the right instructions on him, it's not too bad, but overall I would want more like 85, but for the price it's not awful. And as I talked about, the strength and aggression are really, really low, to be honest, and that's why he's not really the best of cards to hold off the players with, and also he's not the best of cards to agility, so it's kind of like a worst of both worlds in a sense there. But don't get me wrong, he's still not a bad card overall. But that's all of my overall thoughts. Now let's go to my overall scores. So on to my overall scores about the card then. Now I'm going to rank this fairly as possible on what stage year it is and against other cards I've used. I know it's a little bit unfair because a lot of icons are a lot more expensive, but I'll factor that in on value for coins later on. But I'll have to go it on a fair review. So, first for me is the pace. Now overall for the pace, it's not slow as I said, but it's not really the fastest of cards. So overall for the pace, I'm just giving it a solid 8 out of 10. I can't give any higher than that because he's not going to be like the Vinny level fast or anything like that. But don't get me wrong, he's not slow. Now for the shooting for me, I am going to have to give it a 6 out of 10. This is the letdown of the card in my opinion. It's not, as I said, it's not really finishing in itself. He will be able to finish quite a few chances as you've seen. It's mainly that shot power, very, very low. And this is why you probably couple the dead eye on him, but then again it does lower the finishing. So you're in a bit of a limbo there, to be honest. Now the passing for me, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Nothing bad, nothing amazing. The short pass division are quite decent, but the long pass is kind of average along with the rest of the attributes as well. So the dribbling for me, as I talked about, he is 6 foot tall, so he's not going to be as agile of cards, and all the attributes are okay, not bad, not amazing. So overall for this, I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10. I just feel like with that balance being very low and also the composure being quite low, to be honest, and especially as he's not the most agile of cards, don't get me wrong, I just feel like he can't give any higher than that. So for the vehicles overall, I am going to give it a 4 out of 10. There's no redeeming factor in this. The stamina's not bad, but it could be a lot better. It could be more like 90 and he'll be able to run all game. But with that being said, at least it's only 80. So on overall score from then, time of year it is, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I don't think he's a bad card, and he has surprised me on some of the aspects, but he is what I thought he would be. The finishing was a little bit lackluster at times, and it's definitely since like composure and stuff like that, the shot power, this is why he's probably so cheap, but I do think he's actually worth more than 70k. I'd probably say more like 150, so I don't know why he's actually this cheap, but with that being said, if you do really want a cheap icon just to try out an icon, I would recommend him. He's probably one of the better ones for the value of coins. especially he's got the 4-star, 4-star. So overall for this, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Now that is purely on icon rating, not on actual value, because if you had a 70k card like an Ousmane Dembele, he'd wipe the floor with this card. Honestly, Ousmane would be so much better. But for an icon, if you do want to try an icon, he is quite a fun card to use, especially for 70k. But that's all for my view as always. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do subscribe. It genuinely does help the channel a lot. But I've got nothing more to say. See you next to you, and peace out, guys.